This video is going to be a solo explorer Ghost of the Deep dungeon run for newer players. D2 vets, before you kick off about it and say, oh, explorer's too easy. You will see a more difficult solo off me. But the dungeon has just launched. I'm prioritising new players. Because what we need to understand as D2 vets, it's all well and good us stoking our own egos, but we need to teach the newer players, right? Because one day some of these new players might be better than you. You don't know their skill growth, their curve. They might end up becoming far better than me, far better than you. You have no idea whether that is true or not, right? But we've got to prioritise new players at times, and this is a good opportunity to do it with Explorer Mode Ghost of the Deep. Not only that, a lot of players is the first time they're experiencing Ghost of the Deep today, because they either didn't own the dungeon or they haven't played Witch Queen era, which that's a hell of a lot of players, by the way. It's more than what you think. The amount of players that have spoke to me over the last 2 weeks that have said they don't own Ghost of the Deep is quite a lot. Or not that they don't own it, just that they've never played it, right? So Ghost of the Deep demands a lot out of you compared to other dungeons. Explorer mode, yeah, maybe not so much, but especially when you crank up the difficulty, it demands more out of you than Spire. Definitely. There's a lot more going on with Ghost of the Deep. Alright, so modifiers. There are no modifiers for Explorer. Just Explorer mode is on. Yeah, it tells you what that does. Strange reward, bounty of the nines on. So there's no challenge modifiers. Only on Eternity do you get them an ultimatum. Okay? That's the first thing. Second thing, builds. Okay, so the first build I ran for the first encounter is Karnstein armlets with a glaive on Prismatic Song of Flame, I believe. Right, there'll be dim links, so I'm not going through all the information of that. There'll be dim links for newer players. If you own dim, you can use a dim link and use it to equip it in-game, so you've got it right away. Okay? I want this video to be a little bit, I don't want it to be too long, the video. Alright? So I'm not going through all of this. Artifact mods was this on screen. I did not run no bell, but it doesn't make no odds on this difficulty, so don't worry about it. So yeah, Karnstein armlets will give you restoration via a glaive. Use a glaive of your choice. It's up for interpretation. You don't have to use rake angle. Use a glaive. It will work. A primary of your choice. I'm using microcosm in the full run. The reason for being is for more testing for my purposes. If you don't have microcosm or you don't want to use it, here's the weapons that you use. Alternatively, Lord of Wolves for the first boss. Queenbreaker for the farm boss. There you go, you've had your alternative stuff. Right, in this run, I ran microcosm for the entire run. That's what I ran. Okay, so Karnstein armlets, build. Then when we get to the first boss, I switch to Necrotic Grip. Necrotic Grips, glaive, same weapon usage. Exactly the same, to be honest. All the same stuff going on. Alright, same with microcosm to see what it's like for damage. Again, this artifact mod's very important for the first boss, Malign Harvest. It's very important to enhance it as well with Term of Want to new players. To enhance Term of Want, you just come here and make a ritual. Make a ritual, enhance. The nodes that are selected will be enhanced or boost when you select them on that. Malign Harvest will affect Transcendence gameplay for Warlock. And it's actually rather important in this. You will get an overshield when you use Freeze and Singularity Grenade against a boss or an ad. It's very important this for damage, especially on Eternity difficulties, especially on the harder difficulties. You need this because they've actually kind of buffed the first boss. First boss has been buffed. I'll talk about it in the run. Okay, so I've covered that. That's the first boss. I do a surge switch and I go like that. I get triple kinetic weapon surge. To pull off a surge switch, it's simple. Just have healthy finisher on the class item. Okay, you'll have 3 armor charges from siphons, which is stasis siphon. You'll then swap to triple kinetic weapon surge, 22% buff, or a surge matching your weapon with elemental time dilation to increase the time. Now, what I've just explained to you is exactly the same build I ran for the final boss. So I ran the same build for boss 1 and 2. You've had your build information, on with the run. Okay, so for the first encounter, locate the ritual site. You just want to sparrow your way up to the middle section and you'll have an opportunity to put a banner in. And I believe, so it used to be 4 symbols you would do. I think it's now 3. I believe so. Anyways, put a banner in, and let's approach this as a new player. What do you do? Right, we want to kill the 2 knights at the back of the map. That'll spawn in the stuff. Okay? So you'll get an ogre left, right, or middle. Wherever the ogre spawns is where you want to go. There's tooltips, but I can't read the tooltips in real time like this. The tooltips do spawn in. Didn't spawn in that time. Follow the green trail. Your next step is follow the green trail. I know all of the routes off by heart. They have not changed the routes. The routes are exactly the same. But again, to a new player, they won't know. Kill the wizards for each pack. So you'll get a pack of acolytes and wizards. You only need to kill the wizards to proc the next symbol, the next path. You keep going. This is one rotation of symbol. Now, the symbol's above me. Okay? So there's another wave of wizards. You want to take care of the wizards again. It goes 2 wizards, then 3 wizards. Then when you get to the end of this chain, you'll get a Lucent Guardian that you need to kill. But when the wizards are killed, you can then proceed to the next symbol. Look, to the next location. So again, I know it off by heart. Some players playing this first time, you're gonna need to get used to it. You won't get used to it right away. But yes, there are set patterns, set rotations. Look, when the Hive Tomb Ship spawns in, you get a Lucent Guardian. Whether it be Wizard, Sentinel, whatever it might be. I just melt them with Microcosm, with whatever, it doesn't matter. Crush the Ghost to get the buff, Vestige of Light. This is the first buff. You get a 1 minute, 20 minute timer to dunk. You need to dunk the symbol according to what you got. Now, people have different names for these symbols. So I'm not going to tell you what I call this symbol. I'm just going to say, look at what your symbol was. Kill your wizard in middle. You'll then get a deep sight buff. You pick up the deep sight buff off the wizard, and then you go and find the correct symbol. So my symbol was this one here. You dunk it in the right symbol. If you don't dunk it in the right symbol, you wipe or you die. On this difficulty, you just die. So dunk the right symbol. Okay? But to look at the symbols, you need deep sight. So it's Vestige of Light and it's deep sight. The combination of 2. It's rinse and repeat. You then get another ogre and then you follow the Hive Trail. Again, set paths. I don't really need to think about too much about what I'm doing because I know the paths. But that's the first symbol done. You need to repeat this 3 times, I believe. Okay? That's what it is on Explorer. I hope it is 3 times, not just 4. Because people don't know, the old rotation was 4 times, which everyone complained about. It should always be 3. Now on Ultimatum, I don't know if it's 4 or 3 at the time of doing this because I haven't stepped foot in there yet. I hope it's 3 because it should be. It speeds up the first encounter. You don't want it too long. We don't want the first encounter too long. But you can see with the build is just meaning I have infinite restoration and I can just kill everything with a glaive. It's really simple, look. Really straightforward, easy. Kill the Hive Ghost. Remember your symbol, don't forget it. If you forget it, you can come back and look at the symbol. But your timer will run out. If your Vestige of Light runs out, I believe that the Lucent Guardian will respawn and you have to kill him again. Or you do another path. You end up having to do another path, I think. Okay. Now pop super in mid on wizards if you want. They're not too much of a deal, but it's a good time to do it because you don't need to kill the ads. You need to look at your symbols and dunk. There's 6 symbols in middle. But that's second symbol done. What they've changed is the ogre spawns immediately now after dunk. This never used to happen. That is a small micro change to this encounter if you've noticed. Ogres are spawning in far quicker than what they used to. That's good. So the entire count is a lot quicker than what it was, which is good. You just rinse and repeat from here. Kill the wizards. Keep following the path. That's literally all you do. You can pop Transcendencies, use your healing grenade, use Phoenix Dives, use what you've got. Again, it's not too much of a problem. Be careful of moths. Moths can wipe you quick. Moths can still do crazy damage to you even on this difficulty. So just imagine, you've got to be careful of moths. Yeah, just melt down your wizards. Like I say, go to the next, follow the green path. It's a clue. The path is only a clue. It doesn't tell you exactly where to go. It's only a clue on where you need to go. Still got Transcendency. This is the last symbol, believe it or not. So yeah, it is 3 dunks. So you'll kill your Lucent Guardian like this. Just get rid of him quickly, delete. There's a tooltip telling you about it as well. And then you got your final symbol. In my world, that's ice cream cone. It's not pizza slice. I had a pizza 3 days ago and it didn't look like that symbol. Who the hell's calling it pizza? That's no pizza. That's ice cream cone. That's exactly what that symbol is. I don't want to hear it. This is why I don't do call-outs. Because my call-outs are different. Yeah? Some people call spider shock. And then shock spider. Upside down shock. All this sort of stuff. I don't have a clue about all that stuff, dude. I know my own call-outs for me. And I'll use my own. Okay, that's the first encounter done. I'm going to speed up the footage. This is Traversal. Follow the route on screen, but the game does kind of tell you where to go. Although, what I found was the cursor markers aren't fully working in this. Look, where's the cursor marker? There we go, it pops. That was late. It should be popping far sooner than that. So new players are still going to get lost in this, definitely, especially in the water sections. Because that's what this bit's coming up. This is a large traversal section. If you've never played Ghost of the Deep before, this is going to blow your mind in terms of like traversal for Destiny 2. It's one of the best traversal sections we've got in the game. For dungeons. For dungeons at least, yes. Don't get me wrong, the replayability of it can be annoying. Because it takes that long. You can spend 10-15 minutes on traversal alone in this dungeon. That's the same amount of time as a boss. So again, follow the route on screen. There's a new mechanic called pressure resistance. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so you want to follow the route on screen. The bubbles refresh your buff. If pressure resistance goes to 0, your overshield will start to deteriorate and you will die. So you need to be careful on that. But if you do the effective routing on bubbles, you should never really die. On a new player experience that you will die. I'm 99% sure that you definitely will down your first clear. We all did when it first came out. Where'd you go? You get lost. See, there's no objective markers. This is what I was on about. Maybe this is done on purpose so that Bungie wants you to explore a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. So just keep following the route, follow the red light, and just follow the route on screen. There's nothing more really to add to that. There is a secret chest. There's 2 secret chests. There's some secret collectibles as well. But I'm not showing you the collectibles in this run, just the secret chests. Take a shortcut. Here's a shortcut for newer players. Go here. Boom, chest. Pick it up. I'm not picking it up because I don't want it yet. I'll pick it up later. So yeah, just skip all these. You don't need to kill these knights. You don't need to kill these ads. On this difficulty, you don't. Just keep going. Keep picking up the orbs. Like I said, if you want to spend more time looking at the arena, because it is a good, like I said, traversal, it's interesting. It definitely is. On this little bit, get restoration and run past. In case of death. Low chances, but just in case. Just keep running past. This section you could die easily, I reckon. But you can pop super here as well. If you want to pop a super right now, you can. To skip the wizards. I'm not going to skip the wizards though. Well, I am skipping the wizards, but you know what I'm saying. You can use a super to skip them if you want, if they're damaging you or whatever. This is the hardest jump. This is the jump that you might get wrong. Jump to the right. There's a hole in the platform. Be careful of it. Also, you can farm armor charges up. Armor charges are farmed via siphons, etc. I've got Stasis siphon on, so with my glaive, I get 3 orbs. I have prepped the first boss. For example, I done a little short test at him, but you can prep stuff in advance because I wanted to see what they were doing with the shields. Again, you could pop super here as well. It's just a skip this. It's just a skip. Use your healing aids, use your Phoenix dives, etc. Okay, just follow the route. Now this is the first boss. Now the first boss is going to synergize in mechanics from the first encounter and the traversal with pressure resistance. So you got pressure resistance, you've got the symbols, you've got to dunk the symbols, etc. Right? It's a mixture of two of what you've just learnt. The boss, there's an underwater section at this boss. This is it right now. And there's a bunch of symbols, but on Explorer mode it's dumbed down a little bit. Let's go through it. Okay, so banner up, get your correct loadout on, farm up your armor charges as well a little bit, and here's what you want to do. You're going to start clearing out your wizards. There's three knights, mid, left, right. I'm farming up a few orbs here, I think, but you ultimately want to start getting rid of the wizards quickly, because the boss is up and will suppress you with a suppressor grenade. Get rid of the boss by clearing out the knights quicker. It's not too hard this, it looks hard, it's not. With a Hellion, Devour and a Glaive, Poison Glaive as well, you're going to just melt these knights. And the Ogre. The Ogre spawns in at the last. Melt the Ogre down. There we go, that bit's done. Now you need to use Deep Sight mechanic. You go to middle, you do Deep Sight. Right, now look for your symbols, try and memorise them, but the game on this mode will tell you the symbols. It'll tell you where to dunk. I guess for beginners, just go where the game tells you, but try to not just rely on the game. Try and remember that it was ice cream cone. Maybe it was tripod. Maybe it was a spider. Maybe it was table. Whatever it was, try and remember it and try and do it on your own. If you can. But the game's going to objectively tell you where to go with a marker. Just note, on Eternity mode and Ultimatum, you don't get this liberty. There are maps online of this area. I've showed maps in the past of this zone, because the symbols have set locations downstairs and you need to dunk them. When you dunk for a symbol, you get a wizard upstairs, 3 wizards, 1 wizard for each symbol. Kill your wizard with Glaive, Devour, Hellion, crush their ghost. This will give you Vestige of Light times 1. You need to keep doing this until you get times 3. You are now timed. You've got 1 minute 20 seconds to dunk all Vestige of Light in any statue. It does not matter what statue it is. Okay? But what you want to do is dunk 2 Vestiges, then do your loadout swap. Okay? That's when you do your ammo check, etc. On latter phases, that is important, at doing an ammo check. Okay? So do your 2 dunks and then leave left or right up. Then what you want to do is do a cure Phoenix Dive, then go into your menu, then swap to your loadout, then do Imbue the Light. Then the boss will spawn in, run down the stairs, pop a super, then you're going to melt down the knight, then melt down the shield. The melt goes immediately for some reason on this difficulty. And then you're just going to do DPS to the boss. Now be careful of the boss. Don't stand where that... don't stand far away from the boss. He throws suppressor grenades. It's hard to explain, but they've buffed this boss. He is being buffed. I've noticed a difference just on Explorer. When your super runs out, you're going to then pop a Transcendence for overshields. The boss will pop super as well during DPS. He never used to do that. This is a buff to the boss. On harder difficulties, we'll have to account for this buff. But on this difficulty, it's not too bad. You can tank his damage, you've got overshields, etc. So, look at the damage. It's not bad. It's not brilliant either, though. But like I say, I'm committing to the Microcosm run. On the harder difficulty, I probably won't run Microcosm. It'll probably be Lord of Wolves or something. We'll see what I end up doing. But it's rinse and repeat from there. So same thing. Melt down your 3 knights. Melt down your Ogre in mid. And just keep oscillating. So you're just going to rinse and repeat that mechanic I've just mentioned. Remember to do ammo check before you dunk the last vestige. Farm your armor charges up. Make sure you got full heavy or whatever, or full ammo for whatever weapon you're using. Just make sure you do that check on the phase 2 and phase 3. I'm going to save my voice and not do too much comment on this bit because I've explained the fight in its entirety now. I don't need to explain it another 2 times. So that's the mechanics for the first fight, and I'll add commentary for the next traversal section and the final boss. Okay, so once you've beaten the first boss, you want to then start doing Traversal again. This is the route that you take. If you want to put on a sniper rifle, it's not a bad idea to do that because it's a long range engagement you've got. You can skip it with a super, but chances are you won't have a super because you've just used it on DPS. And by the time you get a super, you've cleared the encounter anyways. So like I say, long range weapons are pretty nice in this bit. So just skip these ads, be careful of Curse for All, just keep going. There's going to be Shriekers, that's why the sniper's pretty good. Like I say, if you do have a super though, you can pop it and run to the back of the map. Don't miss the chest though, there's chests. There's one secret chest here. Probably a collectible as well, I don't know. Probably. I haven't got them yet. But, anyways, we're just going to go through, melting down the Shriekers, the ads. The Shriekers are the biggest. If you can get rid of the Shriekers, that's good. So yeah, look, just snipe them down or linear them down. Whatever you've got on, just take them out. There's not an actual encounter on this. I imagine on Eternity there is. I imagine on Ultimatum there is some extra thing for this bit. But on Explorer there is not. Secret chest is up above. Secret chest is there. Collect it. There you go. There's a secret chest. So that's the Traversal bit done. Now we're on to the farm boss. Okay, so the farm boss I'm using the exact same loadout as before. Necrotic Grip, Song of Flame Prismatic, Glaive, Auto Rifle, Microcosm. It's all the same. It's exactly the same. So Crush the Ghost in middle. And what you're going to do is go to middle where the boss is and shoot down these moths. Shoot down these moths right away. You need to get in the habit of doing that. But do that right now because they cause problems for you later on. Then you're going to use a Phoenix Dive and melt down the 3 knights. Right, top, mid and left. These knights need to be taken care of now. You do it on all difficulties. So on Eternity mode you definitely need to take out the knights. On Ultimatum mode you definitely do need to. Okay, so this boss fight has deep sight as well. Now Oryx, the villain, he's on the floor. Part of his body will be lit up. You're linking a chain. You can't start with middle, the chain. Unless they've changed it. I don't believe they have, but I haven't tested that otherwise. I'm going to say you can't start the chain with middle. It has to be 2 of the other sides. So I've got hill. Right, I've got top hill, mid hill. Let's not go overcomplicate it for people. Top hill, mid hill. That's it. So I'd start with one of those. Then you can do middle on the second one if you want. But you need to shoot your knights while you're in the portal. The green hieroglyphs on the floor. You need to stand in that glyph and kill the knight. That will spawn in the pattern. This is the chain. This is the chain mechanic. So look. We kill him in. It then says he's been slain. And you need to do the chain. This is why the glaive's so good. So you need to put your camera in the middle of the hole. So look. There you go. See that? That then completes the chain. You need to do that 3 times. Once you've done that, establish what symbol was middle. And this is more advanced information, but new players, you may as well start at the base of what I recommend. You need to have DPS in middle, in my opinion. Right? Especially solo bases. So, whatever symbol was in mid, you do not take. So, if what I do is I go to Sentinel first. There's 3 Guardians. Sentinel, Gunslinger, Storm Wizard. Now I have a routine, and I've had this routine since 2022, and I'm not changing it. Sentinel goes first. I check his symbol. His symbol was not line. That's line for me. It's not burger. I'm not bothered. It doesn't look like a burger. I had a burger 2 weeks ago. It doesn't look like that symbol. It looks like line. It looks like equals. It looks like some sort of maths equation. So again, I'm not going to tell you all my symbols because everybody's just going to have different symbol names, and it's just simple as that, isn't it? Because everybody interprets these symbols slightly different. But my routine is Sentinel, Gunslinger, Storm. Always. I never fluctuate from that strat. If the first symbol was Sentinel, I will not kill Sentinel. Now, the middle symbol is line or equals or burger, right? I already said that. Now I've just went into the Gunslinger room and he has equals. That means I cannot kill him. This is very important on a solo basis. and I will be doing this strat for eternity difficulty. The reason being is because you need to standardize DPS so that you are always in middle. You don't want to be left and right. No way. There's less cover. You need to standardize what you're doing so that it's repeatable. Because if you do phase 2 and the damage is somewhere odd, you're not used to it. And you're like, oh damn, the Thrall are pushing me. Acolytes are pushing me from this angle. Whereas in middle, Acolytes don't push you. They don't push you nowhere near as much. I know this from past experiences. I've got 3-4 years experience in this dungeon. So I think I've got, I think my experience is valid to mention it. Let's not be ignorant too much. I've done soul floors on this a lot. I understand it. Now, it's not as important for Explorer mode. It's not. But we may as well start you at the beginning. Get you on the right track from the start so that when you do Eternity difficulty, when you do Ultimatum difficulty, you have a better of idea or understanding that, yes, you need the last symbol to be middle. It should be team-based as well. Right, probably. I like pitching up with middle for team DPS as well. I just love middle. Middle's the place for me. Because, like I say, it's his heart, it's his core. It's Oryx's core. That's the best place to stand. Right? So that's where I stand. Okay, so now to explain the next thing. Acolytes are on a timer. I believe it's about 45 seconds. I'm going to have to retime it this week. But I believe it's about, let's say for argument's sake, it's 45 seconds. Acolytes are infinite. They are not fixed. So for every 45 seconds or so, you're going to get Acolytes. This is a problem for DPS because they will spawn up during DPS. They will flinch you during DPS. And they could kill you during DPS. So what you need to understand is you need to kill your Acolytes very quickly. So that when you dunk your final symbol, it's you and the boss, and that is it. You will get Thrall, but Thrall are no big deal. It's the Acolytes that are the problem. So I've just killed a wave of Acolytes. Remember, it's a 45-second timer. So I'm going to go to the Hunter Gunslinger room. He is middle. He's my final symbol. Yeah. And you will hear an audio cue of the Acolytes spawning. I time it basically perfect. The Acolytes are just about spawning up as I go to the final room. That is really good. Because that means what you want to do now is clear out the Acolytes again, then dunk your final symbol. There you go, look, they've just spawned in. So Helion, Devour, then Glaive, just all Glaive. Look at this, you want to clear out the Acolytes quickly. You're on a timer. You can't mess around. Not even on Explorer. You don't want ads up. Oh, I get pushed here really hard on Explorer. What was that? Anyways, you want to do your deep sight. Then you're going to surge swap. Then you're going to pop super just before. Then you're going to dunk your final symbol. Then boom, you melt. There you go. So then this is DPS. So DPS is just going to be you doing Song of Flame plus Microcosm plus Poison on the boss with Necrotic Grips. You'll get some Thrall. You can kill them quickly, that's fine. I'm using a bit of Lost Signal damage as well. But the damage on this, by the way, was really good. I got a good damage phase. But then you're going to pop Transcendence. You get Paracausal Imbuement from Microcosm. We do crazy good damage here, by the way. It's really good damage. Even for this mode. Doing half health with Microcosm, pretty good. So yeah, you're just going to keep doing that. Use your Transcendence debuff grenades. You get Overshield. We're debuffing them, we get more damage. Look at the damage. That's pretty good, eh? That's alright. So then it's rinse and repeat. Surge swap back to your base build. And then rinse and repeat the run. That's literally all you do. So, before I clean up the commentary, because I'm going to finish it and clean it up from there, let's conclude it. Step 1, kill 3 knights, middle, left and right. Step 2, go to middle for deep sight. Step 3, establish what part of Oryx you need. Is it top mid? Is it awkward hill? Is it his hand? Is it bottom hill? Right, where's the locations? Middle is always a location, but you need to establish what else is a location. But middle is always part of the chain. You then need to kill a knight in each respective zone, standing in the hieroglyphs. Like so. You just kill your knight, you get a ring, a hive ring. You need your camera to go through the ring. You need to form the pattern in the ring, look. Guarding with the glaives, good, look. Remember, you can't start with middle, but you can start with one of the other two sides. Middle could be your last chain. Try and do middle last to avoid confusion. Have a formula. do the other 2 sides, whatever it might be, and then middle last. But again, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying, it's just so that people don't get confused. You can't start with middle. Unless they've changed it. I wish I'd tested it. Unless they've changed it, but I don't think they have. But I bet you they have. I bet you they've changed it and I haven't known. But that's fine if they have. If they have changed it, well, it's going to make it easier, isn't it? But anyways, that's basically what you do. Then you need to establish what symbol is middle. Whatever symbol is middle, you need to take a note of mentally to establish, right. So I've got table as my middle symbol. So I'm going to go to Sentinel. I'm not going to go to Gunslinger. I'm not going to go to Wizard, because I have a routine. Get into a routine. If your routine's the opposite of mine, that's fine. Get a routine and stick to it. That is all you need to do. So look, it's the different table. I've got a different table so I can kill this Sentinel. And you just rinse and repeat this. So we can kill the Sentinel now and dunk the buff in middle. But yeah, that's the explanation of the mechanics. Something happened with me, a bug, I think on phase 2. I couldn't dunk the symbol and something messed up. I don't know what happened. That's how I saw Two-Faced. I'm not sure. I haven't watched it back yet. But something funky happened to me where I couldn't dunk the node. Maybe it was my fault. I don't know. I haven't rewatched it back. But I just thought I'd mention that. My DPS messed up on phase 2. Just because I couldn't dunk a symbol. I don't know why. I ended up clutching it out somehow. I don't know how. But yeah, that was the video on this. The rest of the video is just explaining. The rest of the video is just rinsing and repeating of what I've just told you. I don't feel the need. I need to mention it 3 times to you. Alright? And it means I've got more time to work on the next difficulty for the solo, etc. But anyways, that was the video on this. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.